Hi everyone, welcome to the Tuesday edition of Source 16 News. I'm Eddie Owen. Thanks for joining us. Topping our news, a Christian County Circuit Court jury has found a Fort Campbell soldier guilty of murder and other offenses in the fatal wreck that killed a Hopkinsville woman last year. During closing arguments, Assistant Commonwealth Attorney Whitney Westerfield asked the jury to find Ryan Christoph guilty of second-degree manslaughter, first-degree wanton endangerment, DUI, and other charges.
No insurance. Would a reasonable person go out there and not only drive more than twice the speed limit around a curve at night, cross the center line by 1.8 feet, and be intoxicated and do all that without keeping insurance up to date? And finally, never hit the brake pedal, not once. Slow reaction time, perhaps. That same report that tells you how fast he was going shows you he never once attempted to slow. He was cruising. Mr. Christoph act wantonly? Yes, he absolutely did.
On January 13, 2010, police say Christoph was driving west on Canton Pike at 86 miles per hour in a 40-mile-per-hour speed zone when he crashed his vehicle head-on into a car driven by 73-year-old Norma Cook of Hopkinsville. Cook and her husband, 78-year-old Jack Cook, were transported to Jenny Stewart Medical Center where she was pronounced dead. Now, as of news time, the jury was still deliberating Christoph's sentence. While severe storms that moved across the southern portion of Christian County last night destroyed barns, downed trees, and power lines, the county fared pretty well considering the same storm spawned an EF2 tornado in Stewart County, Tennessee. The tornado that struck Big Rock destroyed about 10 homes as well as the post office and fire station and caused heavy damage to about 20 to 25 more houses. Officials report the destruction path of the EF2 tornado, with winds of 115 to 120 miles per hour, was about 150 yards wide and 7 miles long and ended at Fort Campbell. Meanwhile, 11 officers of Clarksville Police Department's strike team were mobilized today to provide traffic and perimeter control in Stewart County. Another tornado outbreak is possible for our area tomorrow. David Bryant will have the latest coming up in weather in a few minutes. Well, the Christian County Board of Health last night approved the fiscal year 2012 budget of over $4.2 million. That includes eliminating 9 positions at the health department. Public Health Director Mark Pyle told Source 16 that the cuts include about $400,000 in operational expenses. At this time, he said the decision of what positions will be cut has not been made. The Board of Health also approved the local taxing district rate of 1.8 cents per $100 assessed property value. That's the lowest rate that health departments can assess by state statute. In addition, the board members approved the use of over $322,000 of additional taxing district reserve funds to fund the mutual assistance agreement with St. Luke's Free Clinic, to balance budgeted operational expenses, and to fund strategic planning priorities. Strategic planning priorities, as established in the CCHD strategic plan, include chronic disease prevention and control, cancer prevention, access to primary health care and oral health, ensure a healthy start for children ages 0 to 5, and encourage healthy lifestyles for children ages 6 to 18. The board also approved the use of $120,000 of state unrestricted reserve funds for capital expenditures that includes a feasibility study for the addition of a new building space or renovations to existing space. Christian County Fiscal Court today approved its first reading of the county's $24.7 million budget for the upcoming fiscal year.
This budget includes a mandated increase in the retirement contributions for employees of 2.03%. That equates to about $62,000 additional this year. Our funds, we fund our budget primarily through property taxes. In other words, we don't utilize other taxes such as an occupational tax or insurance tax, which are available, but we don't have those taxes in this county. This budget does include reductions in each of our 7 funds. Total budget reduction from the prior year is 3.61% for the total budget, or that equates to $926,216. So almost $1 million lower budget this year than the previous year.
In other action, fiscal court also approved a $280,000 agreement between the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet and Christian County to repair various county roads. Magistrates also approved a municipal aid cooperative contract worth over $35,000 and a payment worth over $15,000 to go toward the Alhambra Theater's HVAC project. During citizen comments, Mac McCord of Herndon asked fiscal court to help keep the Lafayette post office open.
Address is a Herndon address. There's so many people that have a Herndon address, but Lafayette is their post office. And I don't know whether it's fix something that ain't even broke is what it sounds like they're trying to do to us down there. And they've already cut the hours back at the post office. It's open 4 hours a day now. Lafayette still has a mayor and 4 councilmen/women to govern that city. So, in Herndon's a 4-way stop sign. I'm not trying to take anything away from Herndon. It's a 4-way stop sign. But there's no talk about closing Herndon's post office down.
The next fiscal court meeting is scheduled for June 14th at 8:30 a.m. A Hopkinsville woman says she's been living next to a nightmare for the past 3 weeks due to recent flooding. Here's Marie Fainter with more.
A Hopkinsville woman says she is thankful for the small things in life after her family went without hot water for several weeks due to recent flooding.
That 3 weeks was pretty hard on us personally. We had to go to friends and family to take showers, and we had to eat out because there's no hot water for the kitchen, of course.
Martins says her family is still recovering from recent floods that caused manholes near her home to overflow and raw sewage to spill out onto her Roney Drive residence.
All of our manhole covers from here all the way up to Henderson and around Roney Drive also, they were all bubbling, just spewing out this nasty stuff.
Besides having raw sewage on her property for nearly a month, Martins says she's also worried about her family's health.
If we don't get the water out from under our house, then we have mold and mildew to fight, and that could be a very serious health issue.
According to Martins, the ordeal has caused a strain in her family.
You never know how much you miss hot water until you don't have hot water, and the luxury of going into your bathroom and running a hot shower or hot bath. And so it's just really, really been hard. And then we've had a lot of sleepless nights.
She says it's always hard for her to sleep at night knowing it's going to rain.
It's hard to settle down when you see the water rolling down your street like a river. And it's getting closer and closer to coming inside, so it's really scary.
As of late last week, city workers were seen in the area conducting surveys on the street, but Martins remains skeptical that the flooding issue in her neighborhood is resolved. Marie Fainter, Source 16 News.
Meanwhile, 3rd District State Senator Joey Pendleton's wife, Diane Wood, told Source 16 today another Hopkinsville neighborhood is also being affected by sewage problems.
Okay, I live at 905 Hurst Drive, which is part of Oakhurst subdivision, and we adjoin Dawn Drive, is at the back of our subdivision. There's a lift station actually between Hurst and Dawn that serves that area, and ever since the recent flooding, I've been concerned about the raw sewage that's been flowing out of the manholes in that area and flowing into a sinkhole. And of course that flows into the Little River, which is nearby.
According to Wood, sewage overflowing onto the streets and into a sinkhole are a continuous problem for that area.
The pump's not sufficient to handle the sewage in the area. And the pump actually went out. It was out, well, it's been out for I guess 3 weeks now or longer. They brought in a temporary pump and had trouble with getting it to cycle properly. And it had been running 24/7 for a couple of weeks.
She said a representative from the Kentucky Division of Water told her HWEA is aware of the situation and will soon fix the problem. 2 Louisville residents and a juvenile were arrested yesterday in Fulton County for allegedly stealing a vehicle and custodial interference. Fulton police charged 26-year-old James and 24-year-old Heather Sommermeyer and a juvenile with theft by unlawful taking automobile. The couple were also charged with custodial interference. Fulton police report that the couple were arrested as a result of their involvement in the stolen vehicle from Louisville and the runaway juvenile, also from Louisville. The two adults were lodged in the Fulton County Detention Center, and the juvenile was transported to the McCracken County Juvenile Facility. The city of Mayfield will host a reception tomorrow to honor the former public safety assistant who recently announced she's resigning. Mayor Teresa Cantrell says Tony Ramage will be honored after having worked for years as a dispatcher and serving the past few years as administrative assistant for public safety. The mayor says Ramage has worked for the city for about 16 years and is now making a career change, entering the nursing field. The public's invited to the reception that will be held from 10 o'clock until noon at the foyer of City Hall. Last week, Mayor Cantrell announced that Eva Rodriguez has been hired as the new public safety assistant. Lake Barkley Beach will be closed over the Memorial Day weekend due to recent flooding. State park officials say the beach at Lake Barkley State Resort Park will be closed so that it can be cleaned up, and it will not be open for Memorial Day weekend. According to officials, the park will announce the opening of the beach soon.